Thank you very much for being here. My name is Congressman Mike Honda. I represent the 15th Congressional District in California, better known as Silicon Valley. I'm here to let the folks know here that I travel from one coast to the other coast to be with Ed Potosnak. He chose to work in my office as an Einstein's Fellow after being a professor in college teaching organic chemistry and 8 years in high school teaching. And by my profession, I also am a science teacher too. So we're like two peas in a pod. And I just want to say to the constituents of the 7th District that if you vote for Ed, you will get what you want. A person that's going to serve you, that will make all the right decisions. And although he is a Democrat, he will think on his own and think for himself, regardless of what leadership may want him to do, which is different from Congressman Lance, who will follow directions without thinking about his own district. We just passed recently a multi-billion-dollar bill to make sure that states have money so that they can avoid laying off teachers, firefighters, and police officers. The state of California had 16,500 teachers that were able to help being laid off. In my own district, that meant 126 teachers. But that's not insignificant. The congressman that represents the district right now said that 56 teachers, somewhere around that number, was negligible. Well, one teacher can affect many, many young people. And we know that teachers can make decisions for a child that will be life-changing. And so any one teacher that's not in the classroom working with your youngsters is not a negligible issue. It is absolutely important. The fact that the Governor Christie had not applied for the money properly meant that you may lose 17,000 teachers for the state of New Jersey. That's not negligible. It is absolutely, positively a mistake that will impact youngsters. The reason I'm here again, to repeat it, is to support the young man that's standing to my right, the candidate for the 7th District, Ed Potosnak. He was the person in my office that wrote for me the E-STEM bill, and we know that science, technology, engineering, math issues are important for all our children in this country. And he also wrote a very important landmark bill that's going to allow me to go around the country to speak on the issue of equity in education. So I'm very pleased to be here with Ed, and let's hear from him now. Ed?
Thank you. Thank you, Congressman Honda.
It's hot. I'm going to take my jacket off.
I want to thank you all for coming, for taking the time to be in the sun on an issue that's extremely important for the 7th Congressional District, for New Jersey, and for our nation, and that is education. It's the foundation that our nation and that our future relies on. And I know that there are politicians that are looking to undermine our children's schools. They're looking to undermine our future. And here in New Jersey, our future has been undermined by some of their personal political ambitions. Earlier this year, Governor Christie, he gutted $800 million from New Jersey's education budget. He grandstanded the entire way. All of us here witnessed that firsthand. And then, this spring, he chose to put political ideology above the interests of our children when he threw out the original Race to the Top application because teachers had collaborated in the process. In a cynical move, he calculated that he was more interested in scoring political points for his national political ambitions than he was in making sure he did the right thing. Christie chose to go it alone and submit a hastily crafted application written in one weekend without consultation from educators. New Jersey students have lost out twice. This year, it's added up to $1.2 billion. What was Governor Christie's response? Well, he expressed outrage. Outrage that the Obama administration didn't call him and ask for a correction. Has he expressed outreach for New Jersey students? Nope, just more political grandstanding. The governor has frequently said that he wants to treat New Jersey's citizens like adults. But the governor should remember that the children know when they see someone in a leadership position like himself that it's wrong to lie and wrong to blame other people for their mistakes. Time and again, we see our governor doing not what's best for New Jersey, but what's best for his national political interests. While 10 other states made the race to the top, and they're currently racing to the top, this governor has New Jersey stuck in neutral, or we might even say in reverse. That same political grandstanding happened when my opponent, Congressman Lance, voted against the education jobs bill in Congress, when he voted to deny New Jersey $268 million for funding our schools. And what was his explanation? Was he going to get the money some other way? Was he going to petition the governor to restore funding for gutted budgets? Nope. He just said the bill's impact was negligible. Well, Mr. Lance, New Jersey's schools are bleeding. School started yesterday here in Edison. The students of this town will be experiencing firsthand the Christie-Lance education agenda. Gut, cut, and grandstand. But there is some hope. Thankfully for the education jobs bill, it did pass, which means New Jersey will receive $268 million through the efforts of the Democratic leadership, Congressman Honda, and many others who stood up to do the right thing. But for our governor, he's yet still to fill out the application, which simply requires a check mark. Many, including Alabama and Georgia, Kansas, even American Samoa, they've managed to check the box, but New Jersey has not. So I'm offering my services to Governor Christie. Since Leonard Lance voted against this bill, I'll be happy to help you fill it out. Make sure that application gets processed and make sure our students receive the resources that they need as soon as possible. Times are tough and we have to make difficult sacrifices. But time and again, Republicans like Governor Christie and Congressman Lance expect students to sacrifice their future to pay for the adult mistakes. When I go to Congress, I promise that I won't make students pay for the financial gambles of adults. I'll work to protect our schools and to improve and fight any attempt to cut our vital education funding. The federal government spends billions of dollars on public elementary and secondary education every year. So it's not about spending more, it's about spending smarter. Just as I've said with Afghanistan and Iraq, when our federal government spends money, there should be clearly defined missions and expectations and outcomes. It was that same commitment to standards and improving the best practices that I worked with Congressman Honda as an Einstein Fellow, and I believe we need to concentrate on achievable, measurable standards and goals across every subject matter. Under No Child Left Behind, we only focus on improving scores in mathematics and language arts. And there should be a broader focus in education on all core curriculum, on improving achievement in all subject matters, not just 2 periods in a student's day. We need to get parents engaged rather than making sure that they are working alongside their students and supporting them, rather than turning our back on their needs, engaging them into the community. According to the Economic Impact and Achievement Gap in America's Schools, a study conducted by the McKinsey & Company, it detailed the long-term financial impact of our growing opportunity gap. Closing the educational achievement gap between the U.S. and higher performing nations such as Finland and South Korea could boost the U.S. gross domestic product by as much as $2.3 trillion. That amounts to about 16%. I'm going to repeat that again. Closing the achievement gap to nations that are doing better than us would boost our gross domestic product by $2.3 trillion, or 16%. If America is going to get its edge back, if we're going to again lead in the ever-increasing 21st century global economy, investments in education are the way that we're going to get there. When we make our students a priority, America wins. California to speak on this very important issue, that we ensure our students and our future and our America's competitiveness is put on the front burner. And it is the commitment of the voters in the 7th District to continue to make sure we deliver on our responsibility. And I ask for your support this November to do just that. Thank you very much, and I will take some questions as well. Thank you, Congressman Honda.